It's cramped, it's not much good in the rain, and it doesn't handle really well, it doesn't brake really well. But the noise that it makes, every sound that's happening in the engine bay is, 6 inches in front of you and there's nothing separating you really. And that's kind of what it's about. Someone said to me once, man, driving like a motorbike. And it's actually really true because it's very similar to a motorbike. Tumblin Dice is one of my favourite Rolling Stones songs, always has been. It also kind of captured a little bit of a risk and a little bit of a gamble that the car definitely embodies, I don't know if it's going to start, I don't know if it's going to keep going, I don't know if I'll get it back home when I go for a drive in it. It embodies the spirit of what hot rods are. They should be a bit of a gamble. If it was totally safe, then who'd you bother, Not me. My parents owned a magazine store actually. That was my kind of front door to hot rods and cars. It was just looking through those magazines, turning the pages and dreaming. It was never about having something which was practical. What's the most over the top, I mean, what's the most ridiculous thing, And that's why those Roth-style cartoons also were something that so many of us gravitated towards, because they were just wild. They were like, it was like watching Kiss, in full makeup. You do have to kind of quantify it when you say you drive a T-bucket, because there's a big range of T-buckets, Model T Roadsters, but it's a late 50s style Model T Roadster. That's what it is really, and it's in the vein of Norm Grabowski or Tommy Ivo's cars. Powered by a 289 Ford, then I went to the States and managed to find a Hillborn fuel injection manifold. The front end is mainly 40 Ford. It's all pretty simple kind of traditional hot rod stuff. One of the key things was to be sitting in the car and not sitting up. The laid-back windscreen was something I thought about a lot. We ended up going with that quite angled look, which I wasn't sure about to start with, and then I went back the other way, but that's where I've ended up, and that's the personality of the car now. They are very simple, and I think a lot of people provide practical answers to problems which they have when they're building a T-bucket. Yeah, that will work, and yes, you can put that in there, but aesthetically and as far as what looks right and wrong, I think it's really easy to get off course, and just because something works practically doesn't mean that it's right. I just don't think there's any other way you can do it, because if you're not going to sleep at night thinking about how you're going to achieve something or find something or solve the problem that you've got, then that's not going to get solved. Unless you pay someone else to do it, it's not going to get solved. It's definitely an obsession. It's not specific to this part of my life. If I'm into anything, then I'm obsessive about it because I want to get it right. I don't want it to be rad. I don't even care if someone who walks past here with no idea about it points a finger at it and goes, look at the funny car. But someone who understands and maybe read some of those same hot rod magazines, when they walk past it and they get it and they go, man, you nailed that. That's cool. That's really cool. Someone said something great to me once, the difference between having a hot rod and not having a hot rod is hard work. You have to stick at it and you have to put time into it. And that's resonated with me ever since I heard that. It's true, Either you've got enough money to buy what you want and throw money at things, or it's hard work.